when we wanted a free 5 stars from Hoyoverse. Hoyoverse had tried to give it to us in some way camouflaged in this 4 stars that always... You will be able to choose free in the Rite of the Lanterns, and in fact the 5th member of the Apocalypse Horsemen, who are the best 4 stars in the game, and that few. To this day it is in fact, and if you have seen the tier list of target teams that will be here, one of the characters that has benefited the most, not only with Citlali, but really today being 4 stars, is the 5th best game team on your roof, and you can't even imagine the pick you can get to have if you ever get Citlali, and even more if you overinvest Citlali. So leave a good like, a good ultimately subscribe, leave a good comment too. Algorithm, thanks for enjoying watching the video on the channel. Thanks for all the love and the support. Remember that it costs you nothing, it's free. Recommend position to the video, helps the channel grow a lot. In fact, thanks for everything that's going on. Let's go for so share the channel and share the video to the mangamings that you have near your Genshin player circles. And remember that once a day lunar blessing draw so that you can recover from the free massacre. To play that is being at NATLAN, but above all Mabuka and Citlali, let him take advantage if you are. Eating that is very rich. Welcome guests to the directs, and today we're going to talk about the pick and the rotation of the ceiling, but above all the broken that just turned gaming juster. Being a May, by Novilet, Mabuka, and Alekino Daitar. Have put as I have done quietly, and this is a constant and sustained damage of all 800 or 900 in the abyss with bad buffs in advance that my gaming still has a building roof. Better just that my pen, the gaming pen, is a little bad. It has the truth, my gaming still can take much more advantage of the damage. If I weather the proportion, I will take much more advantage of Bennett's attack with what the multipliers in this case would allow me to that gaming. That you're seeing doing 800 and 900 in the abyss could make 1,000,000 per descending. No kidding, I do 1,000,000 perfectly, and technically I can go down. First and most important on what is really based, this current improvement of the Yowl. Gaming, calm down, the record is from the video. I mutated. Basically it's Citlali. Chero Citlali tests with gaming improves Fiorina Cone and equals, and in some cases can give us more, above all, defensive contribution, i.e. in my opinion I would continue to put it above that Fiorina C2 Toa. Yes, why? Because basically Citlali, and only the fact that allows us to melt. With gaming and not with Fiorina, that what it does is vaporize. Makes it already base, without depending of constellations or anything. The melt, besides gaming melts all the blows, is by 2 and not. So literally already base Citlali is 50% more damage than Fiorina at Chero. 50% more than the damage Fiorina gives us to Chero if we only consider the reaction. That the vaporization is by 1.5 and the melt is by 2, and to me melts everything. Melts more. 5 hits, and the truth is that above 3 hits, it is very difficult for an enemy to survive. Totally true. And here you are seeing, for example, a gameplay as against the 12-3 second. To put more than 5 hits, not more than 4 hits in fact. Now this direct comparison of Chero and Fiorina is very interesting because apart Chero has 2 other advantages compared to Fiorina that greatly improve the equipment of Gamine. One is the defensive contribution. Fiorina does not give us any resistance to interruption, and it makes the team lose our lives. That this is also compensated with Xion and all. Bennett and besides works very well, the synergy of the loads of all the heating of Xianyun, and benefit the damage inflicted on Fiorina even if it was Chero. Then the code gives 150 loads more, which is more damage, and then the C2 makes it practically on any equipment. There's a little bit of heating in the few seconds. Maximum 5 seconds you've got. But Citlali doesn't depend on these charges being activated, much less to have the C2 to wait 5 seconds to have all the loads. But it is also It doesn't make us lose our lives, but it also gives us a shield so that we don't get interrupted to gaming. And not only that, but you already know that there are many enemies hydro like Tulp, Hydromatics of other abysses, or for example currently the sacrosanct beasts, that there is a Hydro that if you carry a Bennett they'll blow you vaporized, and in many cases they will. Now wearing a shield, they're not gonna shoot you. Maybe you can hold on a couple more strokes to at least get a couple melted or vaporized to the enemy. So that's one of the big advantages, but the other. There are still advantages of Sitley Achero, if gentlemen, it is that Sitley can carry the Dragon Hunter if you don't carry his weapon. The Sitley recommends you directly the Dragon Hunter, though not mastery. And this many will say, well, but if Anjan wore Dragon Hunters in the previous gaming rotation, in fact, the previous gaming rotation was a bit complex, because if you did a Xianyun Dragon Hunter, that had to be Xianyun before. Of gaming to pass him the Hunter, the rotation was Elemental Ulti of Furina. Elemental Ultin, you were already in here with Xianyun, and it was practically impossible to get shade in. Green to Bennett's Pyro because Furina was already here hitting Hydro, and was going to disappear. The Pyro, with what he had to go, are of Old and Dragon Hunter, and received the buff of the Dragon Hunter. There was another problem, and Ita's that Ita's ulting. Here it lasted a lot less because you had to waste the time of Xianyun's Elementary before the ulti and before gaming, and the Elemental Xianyun lasts too long. Now, being able to put Dragon Hunters to Citrali, the rotation can. If Xianyun goes, they are old-fashioned to accumulate more loads of the sun. Of yesteryear, you can start directly with Xianyun and make Elementary Ulti Elemental of of Dragons, and to leave the entire Cryo combo so that gaming melts well doing Elemental. Basic Ulti. You have to insert a basic to apply a little more cryo, and in case you have the green shadow in Xianyun, then here would be a Elemental Xianyun combo, Beds Ulti. But the truth is that the green shade lasts 10 seconds and good, but can be rushed and rotation improves minimally, carrying the Dragon Hunter in Citrali in exchange for all of Furina. And now, let's talk about the rotation, and let's talk about the constellations and the potatoes that already raise the team to a level that does not make absolute sense. Besides, if you do not have Xianyun, don't worry about free-to-play, because there's always a free-to-play. And if I don't have Xianyun, and if I don't have Citrali, and if I don't have hands, and if I don't have an account, and if I don't have the internet, gentlemen, calm down. Those who have been playing for over a year or less, they can have a couple of 5 stars, and even with constellations. Unreal, those who have little time, and by impatience you insist on creators. And if I don't have anything, it's weird that you don't have anything. It's weird that you haven't worried about Furina, or 5 or 6 characters that are important in the accounts. But if you do not have Xianyun, he'll be back soon. You can put in there a perfectly Diona, or even a Silonen that goes. And you can play Gamin, Citrali, Shilonen. Bennett, whoever has Shilonen, or as I say, a Diona gaming. Citrali, Diona, Bennett. And it's actually going to be comfortable because Diona's going to apply you a lot more and give you another one. Shield, and he's going to give you 200 masters, and he's going to give the cryo consonants, which will give you 15 of probability in enemies affected by cryo doi. As you will melt, you will activate it always, and you will always take advantage of it, and gaming will have 15 more chances. Diona is the substitute for a Xianyun, and from Citrali I told you that this video is focused. So there's no mini-minis, and you're not telling me. Then the new rotation with Citrali. I just explained it quickly, but it would be, if you have, they are of Old Xianyun. And it is the best in slot and the maximum damage by rotation. Above the green shadow, it would be Elementary, Ulti, Elementary if it is Cone, or just Elementary. Xianyun's uptimes are very good for the buffos. Then here we throw Bennett's ulti, and here's a tip for everyone who plays teams. Of Citrali Bennett in general, not just with Gammon, do not throw the Elemental Bennett. Look for more recharge, because as soon as you throw Elemental, ulti of Bennett, before Citrali you apply so much pyro that Citrali screws up the rotation. Toss only Bennett's ulti and then enter with Citrali, and then Citrali is elementary. You have to try to get a basic in the middle of it so that that extra is applied. Kryozoi doesn't go away, and you know that as I explained in other videos, the Citrali is very delicate, and as soon as anything very small happens that passes a microbe, or a wild blow in enemies, the cryo disappears immediately and you lose the chain of But if you do it right, you learn to master it and not fail it. Here we come in with Gaman. We make ulti the 2 elementals. the down jump with controllable. That, in addition, that decoder of controllable applies less cryo, again the elemental, another descending. And there you've made 6 hits all melted. Downfall jump of controllable, and another elemental that won't melt, but you're going to let go. 200 with the controllable, and 350 or 400 with the descending without melting. That is, without melting. So is A, and now let's talk about the Paitugainio. Citrale if you get Chero and gun, as the gun gives you more mastery to hold the shield in you. Gives 28% damage inflicted on the character in the field that is a Bufo. That gives us more than 48%. Attack the Dragon Hunter, not much more, but more. Basically, Citrale, Chero, and gun there, yes. It's over Fiorina C2 as much as it can surprise you, but friends are definitely over her. Without any kind of exception, or strange situation. You know there are time situations, teams, combinations, enemies with resistances in which, according to what kind of variance you have, sometimes something varied to the limit can be better or worse depending on the circumstance. In the case of Citrale, Chero, as I explained, is very close to Fiorina C2. Yes, but Citrale with gun exceeds Fiorina C2 too. Lighter cone Citrale that gives us some extra stacks of damage inflicted on the character in the field. 13 stacks that don't exhaust them all. You're going to make the most of it. To provide your mastery here, you definitely do more damage even though the cone is not so powerful, and it's not so much extra damage is a little bit more, and the C2 gives us 250 master's degree in the field. 100.5. Cone stacks and lowers another 20% the resistance of the enemies. That makes a total of 40% reduction of resistance pyro, and here we are already talking about words. Since we are not only having a gaming with almost 5,000 attack with Capillo of proportion, critic 5,000 attack, I mean Bennett's buff and his own with a 40% drop of resistances and with several bufos of damage inflicted melting all the blows, but that normally only built gaming chicks, including Wolf's PIA and Capillo proportion usually. Achieve between 200 and 300 master degree with the extra Citrale bufo on top is a gaming that has 500 or more of mastery, ladies and gentlemen. You are facing a machine that spans practically all. The possible stats: Barbara's attack, a master's degree Barbara, a Capillo of critical proportion, if it E. You have chicks and a rotation that if you do well, there is neither you nor the room of the abyss that you currently have. Last but not least, if you want to make more than 1 million with Walker because it's an illusion you're leaving, the Ascaramus boss you put a descending with Citrale Chero dragon hunting and in a Chero with a weapon of a lot of attack, and you're going to put 1 million into the Ascaramus boss with the 5 stars. Chero, ladies and gentlemen, this is the prime team of gaming for all main gaming. Enjoy it. I have already made 900,000 in the Abyss, and I can make 1 million improving the pen of that gaming because I will take advantage of everything much better because I still do not capitalize critical proportion. Because the pen is bad for what I need and little more. Take care to have a very good day. I hope I enjoyed the video of gaming very much.